Hey Frontline fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline and fans. You're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you the fans can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, what week wouldn't it be complete if I didn't talk about a Spider-Man book? Am I right? That's right. Today we're going to be talking about The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 13, as we have The Amazing Spider-Man versus Iron Man, with Miles Morales watching in the background. This continues the storyline of Power Play Part 2, written by Dan Slott, artwork done by Giuseppe Comicoli. Once again, Giuseppe Comicoli's artwork is really well done. The colors are very vibrant in this book, and I love the action and the panel layouts. They're really nice as well. Facial expressions are pretty cool in this book. At times, though, I always find Giuseppe Comicoli's facial expressions just off on some of the characters. But nevertheless, the overall artwork is really good. Nice page here with Spider-Man web-slinging through the cityscape. So now that I like the artwork in the book, what did I think of the overall story? So let's recap it, then I'll give you my final thoughts. Now, this is the spoiler portion of the review, so if you guys have not read your copy yet, please read your copy, then come back and finish watching the video. And again, guys, as always, keep the discussion going by putting your comments below on what you thought of this Amazing Spider-Man comic book. So in this issue, we get to see Regent, who does battle against a underwater creature, and he continues to collect powers in his collection. Everyone is going gaga over Regent, including Harry Osborn, and you get to see Peter meet up with Harry, and he's like, man, I remember that look, Harry. He's like, back in the day, you used to have a man crush on Flash Thompson. That look, it's the same look. So we get to see that Harry is kind of, going crazy over Regent here. Betty Brandon's back in this book as him and Harry, and Mary Jane got to go out on a lunch date. But Peter Parker is left behind because they don't want Peter to go because Mary Jane is going to be at that date, and it's going to make things awkward. So in the meantime, Harry's like, you got, paperwork to do. You got people to talk to. We'll see you later, Pete. Bye-bye. So you get to see everyone try to meet up with Peter like, Mr. Parker, we got this to do. We got that to do. We got pie charts to do. And everyone's like flipping out. And he's like, man, I'm out of here. He's like, I just want to go web slinging, meet up with Miles Morales. And so they wind up going and they're meeting up with Miles Morales. And he goes meeting up with Miles. And on his way there, he's thinking, he's web slinging. He's like, he's like, man. He's like, I don't know how Tony Stark does this. He's like, he balances the company, he balances his people, he balances all his affairs. He's like, this is insane. So on his way there, he thinks of those things. He meets up with Miles Morales. He's practicing web slinging and web shooting and whatnot. And Tony Stark is there, and he's like, what are you doing there? And this kind of plays off of the heels of what happened in the last issue. They were battling the Ghost, and he's just like, oh, my tech is better than yours. Oh, I battle better than yours. And that continues here when Tony Stark sits there, and he kind of insults Peter and says, oh, those web shooters, his heart was in the right place, but you know what? I had to totally redesign those things. Those were just amateurish. And of course, Peter is under the suit, and Tony doesn't know that Spider-Man is Peter, and he clocks him in the face. And this is where I thought the issue got a little bit out of hand, because I don't know if Peter would be, irresponsible in this matter by clocking Tony and creating danger where it wasn't needed. That's definitely not great power, great responsibility, and causing problems. In the meantime, Harry and the others were at lunch, and they kind of put two and two together, and they realized, holy cow, Augustus Roman could be Regent. So right away, they split ways, and Betty's like, oh, I got to do this report, and, they're kind of figuring things out. Miles Morales tries to keep the peace between the two, which I'm surprised they didn't have a Civil War banner on it. And he's like, come on, guys, we got to make things right, And then after a while, he's just like, I'm out of here. And I could have sworn my dog Kylo was in this issue because it looks just like him. He wears the tag and everything. But after causing all kinds of ruckus and causing danger, Regent takes notice of this. And he's like, oh, it's time to move on to the next phase. And his advisor goes, well, once we go to this phase, we can never go back. you know, because the others will be looking for you. And what she meant by that is he wants to start not only collecting superpowered villains, but now when things get out of control for the superheroes, he wants to collect their powers as well. So what does he do? What does he do? He winds up collecting Miles Morales in this incident because he felt like, you know, he was the one out of place and he was the easiest one to collect. And we wind up seeing that he takes him to the prison, the cellar, to the secret level 7 basement, and he's the first one collecting. And in the end, he had to go to a interview with Betty Brant, and Betty Brant calls him out right from the start and it's like, hey, are you Regent? And that's how the issue ends. So what did I think about this issue? I thought it was a pretty good issue. It was entertaining to see Iron Man and Spider-Man do battle against each other. However, I just didn't think it was really in their character to cause such chaos and commotion throughout the park or whatnot. That's not really their character. I don't think they would really endanger other people's lives, and that's something that I just didn't agree with there. And it wasn't until Miles got caught and there was this distraction that stopped them from fighting. Otherwise, they would have kept on going. So that was the one part that I did not agree upon. Nevertheless, it was witty dialogue. It was humorous at times, and it was interesting to see Augustus Roman sit there and take his power-hungry level to the next level. And again, I would like to know more about Augustus Roman. I felt that we need to dive more into his character. All we really know about him is that he has been Regent. He's been collecting these powers. He's trying to save the world. But I want to know what really motivates him and really why he started this in the first place. I don't know if that was really described. He was kind of introduced briefly in Secret Wars in the Spider-Man miniseries, and in here he's kind of just been put there as well. I want to see them dive more into his character a little bit more and what drove him to become this way to begin with. But nevertheless, it was an okay issue. It was interesting to read. The artwork was good. Not as strong as the last issue. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Good read, but not as good as last issue, as it brought all the supporting cast characters together and it made for a quite interesting read. I just never thought it would endanger other people's lives, and that's what bothered me a little bit about it. So, guys, tell me what you thought of The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 13. Did you like it as much? Do you agree with the points that I made here? And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline. Don't forget to check out all the other comic book reviews, all our live shows on here as well. And fans, again, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and thanks for watching Comic Frontline. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.